comp. Use the optic plate. Clear it. It's a nice crown. We're gonna mount our very own Anvil P-10 optic plate. It's for the RMR. It sits right on there. Use the 2 provided M3 screws. Everything with this is specific torque spec to the manual of arms, between 12 and 14 inch-pounds for these plates. My rule is finger tight quarter turn. Sometimes you have to clean the threads in the P10s because the Loctite they use for that plate is really gross. Give it a little wiggle so that plate is perfectly seated. This is an older Type 1 RMR, so I do have a piece of electrical tape on the bottom. I took this off of an older P10 that was slide cut years ago, which means our zero should be relatively close. Less work for us when we get on the range. Hand tight, little smush afterward. And now our optic is effectively on. Wow, it's pretty dead nuts. I might need to move over a smudge. Typically the factory irons off these CZs are CZ actually accuracy tests their guns. They used to come with papers showing them they're papered. So here I'm just going to make sure that the dot, which is a little bit right of the irons, just verify. All right, moved it left a little bit. It looks like it's perfectly matched up with the iron sights. Apple on a post, so we should be good. All right, for all intents and purposes, the gun is zeroed. Super thick barrel, cold hammer. It's a cold hammer forged barrel. It's got a really nice race crown going forward. The port itself is not rifled. The port is a little bit larger inside diameter than the rifled portion of the barrel. Bernoulli's effect, yay. In terms of like execution, you know, I think that's pretty cool. The differential between the rifled portion and the compensated portion of the barrel where it's ported is a much tighter tolerance than, let's say, the Smith & Wesson carry comp metal. I like this barrel a lot more. It still has that super nice race crown moving forward, pushing all the escaping gases that don't go out the port nice and forward. It feels really soft. We do have a X300 on it. We will take that off and shoot it that way. But right now, it feels fairly nice in the hand. All right, that was a full magazine burned. I dropped maybe 2 shots in the beginning, getting that feel there. Factory trigger, nothing is done to this gun. Sat really nice. Let's do that again. We're shooting this target at 25 yards. Those 2 mags, I don't think I dropped a shot on that second one. I hit slowed down in the end. But again, landing my hits. So that compensator is working. The P-10C is a great pistol to begin with. I don't think I zeroed it really well because there we go. No, I'm just a goofball and missing my shots. Shoot the 36. All right, it's still a touch high. Let me go down a little bit. There we go. It gets hot. It gets hot because it's a ported barrel, but you can see right here, getting some nice bluing on the barrel. See how deep? That's a nice size port. I think for a factory ported barrel, ported slide. This is the size port I'd like to see. I think the Smith & Wesson carry comp is too small of a port. It's almost the same ports that they used on the 586 L comp and the Model 19 carry comp, which are the revolvers in 357 Magnum that have a lot of ass behind them. This is the size port you'd like to see on a 9mm. It has, you can see, I can see it just from my perspective, how much gas is escaping. And this is just 115 grain target ammo, Blazer brass. It's nothing super spicy or special. So today I'm running the X300 here, X300 Bravo, in our light bearing appendix holster with Neomag Alias. Neomag Alias is a quick disconnect T-post style belt clip that clips into a receiver on my belt. I also have one for my magazine carrier. If you're going in and out of your vehicle and you can't bring your firearm, you can put hard mounts in your vehicle. There's mounts to go into bags, fanny packs, Molly, all kinds of stuff. So it's a really unique system from Neomag, and we sell the T-post and the belt receivers on our website. You can see here, clips right in. There's a lever on the bottom. This is a Blue Alpha EDC belt, limited edition Desert Tiger. So shout out to Blue Alpha, good friends of ours. A lot of people will say like, that's a lot of gun to carry in your pants. And the reason why I wanted to show is that a lot of people didn't realize that this P-10C, it's just a P-10C. There's nothing different about it. It fits the P-10C holsters. I'm carrying it in a P-10F holster with X300. People are like, well, I want to see you sit down. I want to see you bend and tie your shoes. Like, I can do this all day. It's not a problem. It's actually longer firearms, especially ones with like X300s, that are more comfortable for me because they're going past the front of my pelvis and they have more surface area. So when I bend, my stomach goes behind the gun, tucks in, and the gun kind of rides up towards my ribs when I bend. Whereas a smaller, shorter gun, let's say like Glock 19s are pretty comfortable, but if you go to some super short muzzled guns and you bend, they're, instead of riding down the front of your pelvis and kind of shifting with you, they do a hard 90 into your pelvis and they can hotspot you. So I have found like larger frame guns or guns with longer lights do, one, conceal better, and two, are more comfortable. And I say conceal better because some guns on the market, you can get like a short grip, like a Glock 19 length grip with a Glock 17 length slide. And that combination really does a good job concealing a firearm really well. Are they the flattest shooters? It's nice to have balance in your gun, but if you want to carry a weapon light, have some balance and have your capabilities and comfort, this really is the way to go. People say, oh, bullshit. Literally, I wake up in the morning, I put my pants on, I put a gun on, appendix carry all day long, and then when I'm ready to go to bed, take a shower, gun comes off. Like, the gun's on me all day long. Yes, you're carrying a firearm in your pants. Yes, it's a chunk of metal, a light, whatever the hell else you have on it. There is a learning curve and a comfort curve where you just kind of just get used to it. You know, I've been carrying concealed for over 11 years now, specifically appendix. And just make sure when you reholster, you don't have to be afraid of appendix. Just when you reholster, make sure your garments are clear and your fingers off the trigger. Then you're safe. All right, so we took the light off. We're gonna shoot this with, we're gonna do a handful of rounds, standard velocity, and then we'll do, I don't know the grain weight on them. They're either 147 grain V crowns or 115 grain V crowns. I think they're 115 grain V crowns, but they are a plus P load, so we'll compare them. Well, that was spicy. My dot tracking was shit, but it did feel significantly different. It had more snap, but I could feel that compensator doing a lot more work. And that's what you want to see from a compensator. Now granted, you'd typically want to see the same effect, but she's hot. Holy smoke, she's hot. There's a lot of added value here. You do have the port, the heavier barrel, the top slide cocking serration similar to the Nocturne. Same trigger, same control, same feel as the P-10. So the aftermarket support for this pistol's there. I would like to mess around with spring weights to see what's better for the spicier plus P ammo that works best with this package versus the, target load, the target spring. I think this works great for target loads. It's got our Optic plate on it. So our Optic plate system does fit the new P-10 amongst the rest of the guns that CZ makes with the newer Optic plate system. I think overall the barrel though, having that race crown, the heavier profile barrel, bull barrel, the cocking serrations, the iron sights are super nice on it too. They've got a ledge here. If you don't carry with an Optic, you can rack off stuff. It's a good height where I can still use my irons. They're just high enough to get over the Trijicon RMR that I can see above my irons. If you're running something like a Holosun 508T, you might get a little bit lower in the back so you can see your irons better. I think for the price, I think MSRP, I was looking at the CZ website, I think MSRP is like $529 on this. Frankie here will cut over the correct price if I'm wrong, but I believe it was either, I think it was $527. So for the P-10 platform, I think it's got good value. If you want a factory ported pistol, I think that's one of the nicest looking chunk ports on a modern striker fired 9mm pistol to date. It's really nice looking. It's a massive chunk port. It's done correctly, and it has a little bit of a dwell chamber. That Bernoulli's effect is taking place in there. It looks good to me. I don't really have much else to say. It's a P-10 that's ported. It does as advertised. It sits that gun down, and I can run it real quick and not drop a shot at 15 yards with 115 grain. If you're gonna run duty ammo in it, practice with it, mess with your spring weights and see what works best for what you're carrying. But overall, I think it's a neat little pistol for the price. I think there's value there for $529. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this CZ P-10C ported quick and dirty.